One is speculating because the indictment will not be unsealed until the day of the arraignment. But some of the speculation, I think, is very good. It's probably spot on. Where people don't know what the next step will be is there's going to be 30 or 34 counts. So that's going to have to be more than the Stormy Daniels escapade. So the charges will be falsifying business records. That's when you take a business record and with an intent to defraud something, you file a false document with your own business. Right? That's a misdemeanor. Maximum penalty, a year in jail. Okay. Where it elevates to a felony is if you do it with your intent to hide another crime or to commit another crime. And that's where they're elevating it up to a felony for Donald Trump, according to the people who speculate. That will be challenged very, very directly with pretrial motions.
Okay, and you just answered the question, when typically an indictment will be unsealed. We're expecting that to happen on Tuesday, potentially.
Yeah, what happens is when they bring him in for arraignment, there's a motion made by the prosecutor to unseal the indictment. At that time, they're unsealed. There's a chance that that indictment's been shared with Trump's attorneys beforehand. That's a normal practice.
Okay. Will Trump's attorneys try to have this case moved out of Manhattan? We know that there is the issue of could there be a fair trial here? They have said, Trump's people have said that they don't believe that could happen in Manhattan because it does lean blue. So is that going to be maybe a push to move it elsewhere?
Well, they may do that, but change of venue in a criminal case in the state of New York is very hard to accomplish. Okay. You almost have to have a poll of jurors as you're picking a juror to say they can't be fair and impartial. Very difficult.
Okay. How long could this take for a trial to commence? I don't know if I've heard a lot about this yet in the last 24 hours. This could be a while. Just kind of go through the next steps.
Well, the next step will be called the discovery step, where the prosecution has to turn over all their documents to the defense, and they get to look at them. And you know, if there's 30 counts, there'll be a lot of documents. After that is the motion phase. There'll be an extensive motion practice because of the novelty of the elevation to a felony. That'll be challenged at every pace, and that'll slow things down. So you're talking about a trial may not occur for 8, 9 months, or maybe even more. And during the time when they're waiting for a trial, they may take an interlocutory appeal up to the appellate division to see what the story is with respect to the sufficiency of the charges.
And during this time, Trump could be running for office.
Well, there's no prohibition against him running for office as an indicted felon. It's not against the rules.
All right. How could this indictment affect, maybe other ongoing investigations into the former president? We know that there are other investigations, ongoing. They are looking into other things. So how could this maybe impact those?
Well, there'll be some coordination and discussion among the prosecution agencies, but it won't affect them because they're on different tracks, they're in different jurisdictions, and there may be some sharing of witnesses if there's any overlap, but it's likely they'll be proceeding on their own track.
And we have to know that there could be strong evidence here. I mean, this wouldn't happen if there wasn't, correct? How strong does this evidence have to be for this to even happen?
Well, we're all speculating about the strength of the evidence. You know, it's been attacked because the fulcrum of the case is Michael Cohen, and he has serious credibility issues. But there, I would think, documentation, records, corroboration, other witnesses. Alvin Bragg is a very careful prosecutor. Don't forget, he declined to prosecute Trump about a year ago, causing a real consternation among some of his senior aides. So we'll see, but there's likely to be sufficient evidence.
And then why is this happening in Manhattan? Why do you believe that they decided to take this on?
Well, the prosecutors in Manhattan have to establish as the proper venue. They have to show that some of the filings were committed in their jurisdiction. And that's what they do. They search to see whether or not they can establish by proof the venue required to keep it in the county of Manhattan, in the borough of Manhattan. So I'm sure that that's going to be one of the elements of proof. They're going to say, we have filings that were made in Manhattan. That gives us jurisdiction, and that's why we'll proceed there.
All right. Thank you so much. You always do such a wonderful job breaking this all down for us. I appreciate it.